Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. Today we are playing around with a very simple concept of stacked envelopes, which is this and this. And then we are expanding on that concept and creating things like this and this. And we make this beauty in the tutorial, all done step by step. And I'm showing it to you backwards here so that you can see exactly what to expect from this video. Going to the front. Whew, this is going to be fun. So much fun with only envelopes. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's start with the basics. So for this project, you will obviously need envelopes. Now, if you have an envelope punch board, like I do, you can make your own. The process is going to take much longer. It does take a little while to make the envelopes. This is the envelope punch board that I have from We Are Memory Keepers. And the good thing with this is that you can use your pretty papers, your scrapbook papers, and make beautiful designs like this. But in all honesty, making the envelopes does take a little while, so I actually prefer to just work with envelopes that are already made and I can make them look pretty. So grab anything you have on hand. The envelopes don't have to be all the same size, same height, width, none of that matters. We are going to be layering the envelopes, so it really doesn't matter if the flap is triangular like this or rectangle. It does not matter as long as they're envelopes. You can make your own from book pages and stuff. You can do something like this. Let's see, I made some of these things last night, and here's like a little envelope, right? So you can just, it's just a book page folded down to make it like a envelope, and then that can be also part of your project. Who knows, I might use this one in a project today. All right, so you've got your envelopes, and now you choose which envelopes you want to, go in your project. So let's say I'm gonna choose different sizes. I mean, it's quite nice to have, a uniform kind of size, but you can just go to town with all sorts of different stuff. And also there's no limit as to how many envelopes you can stack together. So over here I have 5 envelopes. And the next thing I'm going to do is maybe just add a few embellishments on some of the envelopes, like maybe some inking. Maybe I can run this one through my embossing folder. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You can see this one went through an embossing folder, and so did this one. This one here, I did a little bit of stenciling just to get a little something happening. And then on the back one here, I have some stitching as well, some stitching here. We're just adding little details to add depth to the end result, right? All right, so I've embossed these two. That's done. I'm going to call it done. This one here, I'm just going to ink the edges, and I might even completely remove this. I might do something fun on the inside, because when the envelopes open, the inside of that flap is visible. So that's the only reason why I'm going to do something here. Maybe add, remember this in my, what was it, 2 videos ago? Little strips. Yeah, I'm going to play around with that. All right, here's what I've done on this one. I just added some stitches. My dog is still getting used to the sound of sewing machine, he jumped on me there. So that went a bit askew, but that's fine because that's going to be hidden anyway. And that's what the inside looks like. I just added some stitches, and this is not necessary, obviously. I mean, I haven't done this kind of thing in the previous ones. We're just having a bit of fun. So you can make this as elaborate as you want, or as simple as you want, really. Okay, for this one here, I'm not going to do much. Just ink the edges. We're just covering the bases now anyway, so we can have a bit more fun later. Okay, now my envelopes are ready, and I'm going to stack them. One thing you want to keep in mind when you're stacking your envelopes is, I mean, look at that. That can be so much fun. This is not going to work because this envelope is going over the top of that one. Okay, so that's one thing you have to keep in mind. When you're stacking, the top of the envelope can't go over the one that's underneath it, because then safe. We've got that it was not going to be able to be opened because that's going to prevent it. I don't know where my words have gone today, but I'm sure that you understand what I'm saying. That's the only thing to keep in mind. See, that corner always below. You can probably hear my dog sniffing. I think he's wanting to go for a walk. Okay, you can have, if you like this type of look, I actually prefer this more, to be honest. I like having them all perfect and straight. Or maybe not. If I was just doing 3, I like that look. Anyway, let's stack them up. I think I actually like this kind of a look where the bottom 2 envelopes are perfectly straight. Actually, the bottom 3, and then only the top 2 are skewed. But you can see here, only the bottom envelope is kind of sitting straight, and then all the other envelopes are at an angle. One goes down this way, then like a zigzag, right? I mean, there's no rules. You can do whatever you want. I'm just thinking that I'm not happy with how this envelope looks, so maybe I can make it better, and then everything will kind of fall into place when I'm trying to stack the envelopes up. Now, when that is ready, we're ready for the gluing part. Okay, so you have all of your envelopes in a way that you like them. I'll get a bit closer. And you're starting from the top down. Okay, so I'm just gonna lift and I'm gonna apply a little bit of glue there where I know that it's not going to seep to where I don't want it to. And then, you know, we can come back a little bit later when this is dried and lift parts such as this one here and a little bit perhaps here and add more glue. But for now, we just want to glue this in place, and obviously check right away that there's no glue seeping through. So you can see here, I mean, it's not completely glued down. I just want to keep it in place. You can use double-sided tape here as well. All right, now I'm lifting the next one. It's hard to see, but there's my flap. I can see that it's kind of like this whole thing is covered by this envelope. So I'm going to apply glue to that whole section there. And then I can always come back later and lift little parts and little section where it needs more glue. And now next one here. There we go. Again, double check, there's no seeping. And now this one's pretty straightforward. I can see that pretty much the whole flap here is gonna be covered. Only that top is gonna be visible. So I'm just gonna apply glue over the whole thing. All right, so this is the basics. Like you see what I've done. You can stack your envelopes any way you want. You can have any size envelope that you want, and you can have any number of envelopes that you want to have in your stack. So now that they're all glued together, you kind of have this effect. The only thing you need to worry about or to keep in mind is when you're gluing, the top corner doesn't go, or the top, any part of the top, not just the corner, doesn't go over the top of the envelope below it. Ideally, what I would do at this point is just wait a little bit longer for the glue that I have applied to dry. And then I would go back in. Okay, so this one's completely glued down. And then I would lift sections. Let's have a look here. You can see that's not glued down. Lift sections and apply glue. And keep going until all of my stuff is glued down. All right, so now that we've covered the very basics, you can go ahead and add some variations to this project. So for example, over here, like it doesn't look all that great. So we can go ahead and add more envelopes. I mean, why not? What's stopping you? So we can have one here, for example. And then over here, you can do, I just found this in my stash. I didn't even know that I have it. You can do something like this. It looks quite fun, and that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue that right down. I'll do it off camera, but I just wanted to show you on this one. I really didn't do much. I mean, this can use a little bit of something, but over here at the back of this one, like you can see that it looks quite rich. That's what I'm going for. You can see there's a bit of stenciling here, and then what I did on the back, this is the exact same envelope. So the same envelope, and all I did, added a bit of a background, but I wanted the background not to be visible when the envelopes are closed. So just glued a piece of scrapbook paper and then a little pocket and popped something into the pocket, and I have a sticker here, and you see the difference that it makes. Huge. Okay, here's a little tip, and I will mention this again because it's very important, especially in the next project that we do, which is the folio. When you're gluing your envelope down, don't apply glue all the way to the edges, only leave quite a bit of a margin. Okay, so I'm just kind of, you can see that I left a margin all around, and I'm gonna tell you why I do that in a moment. And I'm doing the same with these little ones. Okay, and that's done. Look how cool that looks. This isn't this is the correct orientation, but you can't see the full thing in the camera, so I'm just gonna do it this way. And then imagine filling all of that up, you know, all the little goodies over here, all over here. Very interactive and quite fun. The reason why you don't want to glue the envelopes all the way to the edges is because when you're putting things in and you're taking things out, you want that envelope to have give. See that? I mean, the glue is not dried yet, but this is going to now make sense. It probably makes sense already. This envelope, I have also, when I glued it down, I left a little bit of space, but not nearly as much as I did over here. So the difference is when you're putting things in here, you see there's a lot of pressure placed on this very, very weak area here. You see that there? Even though I do have a little bit of give, that still kind of happens. So the more give you can leave, I mean, don't go crazy and not glue it down at all, but you can see here, I really left quite a bit of give all around. So when I open my envelope, the envelope has somewhere to go, you see? And how easy was that? Very easy. I mean, we can go to town from here. We can do buttons. Ooh, that looks quite cool. Anyway, we can do all sorts of stuff, but I'm not going to because we're moving on to the next project where we make this a whole lot more fun. So at this point, we're moving from the basic idea of stacking envelope, which is very easy, to another very easy thing, which is expanding the idea and creating other fun stuff with it. So you can see here, I have a little folio type thing, right? And this is an actual file folder that I used, and I'm going to do one now. And then this one opens this way, so it opens down like this. So there's a pocket down here, very simple, nothing much to it. I stacked envelopes up here and they kind of open up that way, right? Then I made this one. The ideas really are endless where you can take this. This one obviously opens to the side and the envelopes then open up, and very simple and easy. All it is stacked envelopes, and I did the exact same thing on both sides. I think it looks better and there's a whole lot less thinking involved, you know, when you're repeating the same kind of pattern. So here we go. And you can only imagine how far you can go with this idea. It can just be an ongoing, you know, you can flip it up that way, you can flip them up that way, you can have some coming down. Like for example, let's have a look here. I haven't just a pocket, but we could potentially do something like this, and then this one flips down, right? We can have, oh, I can't fit two. I was going to say we can have two mini envelopes and they flip down. Let's see over here. Actually, I was contemplating doing it over here because there's a whole lot of space. This envelope probably is not the best. It's very plain, but we could do that, you know. So how interactive is this? So that one opens up, 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 and then over here we have that one, and then we have this one. And I mean, if you really want to go crazy, you know, you can just keep going. Endless. Okay, I reckon now I'm going to make one of these file folders, even though I've already kind of given it all away. I mean, now you know how to make it, but don't go, please stay. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you have some cooking to do or cleaning. That's more fun than crafting, right? I'm sure you'd prefer that than crafting. Okay, here's what I'm using. It's just one of those expandable, I don't even know what they call. I'm calling it a file folder. And of course, I'm using the fold that's already in there as part of my project. So as you can see, this one, I have cut it just here, and then I made the flap and stuff like that. And then this one, I actually oriented this way, and I cut it down, and my flap was too short, what was left over here, because I kind of have to trim this whole thing off. So it was too short, so then I just sewn on a second piece. You see, very easy, just to extend the flap, because I felt like that flap was too short. I reckon I'm going to do something a little bit different in this video. I don't want to make the exact same thing I've already got. So another reason for you to stay. All right, first I'm going to get rid of this. And while I'm here, does anyone know what this is for? Actually, I think I just had an idea. It's probably for, I cut this down because I decided I'm going to use this in my journals as tabs. Is this what that's for? No. Why would it be there? Why would we want it? Does anyone know what these slits are for? Because I was trying to incorporate somehow into my design. You see that those slits? I don't know. I was thinking of maybe weaving a ribbon through. It would look quite nice because I couldn't escape it from my project. In any case, this is all. You probably have a completely different file folder thing. All right, here are my thoughts. So far, like I said, what I would do is cut this down. But now I'm thinking perhaps I can make something really interactive. I mean, it might not work, but it's, why not kind of go with the flow? And see, oh, look, see that slit? Oh, and I had to fold it right there. That's all right. We'll work something out. I'm not sure where I'm going with this, but let's see where it takes me. All right, so here are my thoughts at the moment. I was thinking perhaps I could do a whole stack of things, like maybe I can do envelopes here, and then that closes this way, envelopes here, you know, envelopes galore. But then what's going to happen is this spine is not wide enough. Even though I do have these core lines, so I can make it like a curved spine. It can be a book of, you know, stuff, but I mean, it would work. It probably would work, but I think it's just too complicated for right now. So what I'm going to do is just stick with simple, and first thing I'm going to do is straighten the edges, and perhaps while I'm at it, I might shorten it a little bit because it's very square, not kind of, I don't like it too much being square. Now I'm thinking, do I want this element here? Do I want it to open up and down? Yes, that's an option as well, but I'm deciding to close this off and make this into pockets. First, I'm going to cover the outside here, let's call it the spine, with a little bit of washi tape. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same thing inside here. Might use a glue stick instead of the other glue this time. All right, that's done. That's more for reinforcement than anything. And now I've actually decided I'm going to cover this as well. All right, there we go. That's what we have so far. Excellent. Now what I'm going to do is add some stitching just over here, just for looks, and then I'm going to stitch all the way around. Of course, you don't have to use a sewing machine. You can just use glue. You can even use staples here. You can even use washi tape if you want to keep that pocket closed. Here's what I have so far, just added stitching there, and now I'm going to turn it around, and I'm actually going to stitch all the way around from this side because I want the front of my stitch to be at the front of this, which is going to be, I'm not sure what yet. So I'll be right back. All right, and here we have, this is what I have so far and what it looks like so far. Now's the time to do the stacked envelopes. I've chosen to do something like this. I'm gonna do symmetrical, exactly the same on both sides. Then I'm gonna have this one and then this one, but first I'm going to make them fun before I do the gluing. All right, so all I did is ink the edges and added a little bit of sewing around here, and now I'm going to hide this, and I'm simply going to use a stamp. You can just cut out a little circle, you can do whatever really, but here's what I'm going to do. Stamp that a few times, and now I'm going to use my circle punch that I have, ink the edges, add a little bit of glue here, and now I'm going to glue one to the front, and then also I'm going to glue one to the back. Just kind of hiding that stitch, you know, and making it look nice. And that's all I'm going to do as far as that goes. So now is the time to do the stacked envelope thing, and I'm going to start by gluing these two envelopes down. So with the bottom one, it's going to be completely glued. I mean, you can make a whole lot of interactive elements and perhaps glue the three sides down here and then have a pocket there, but I'm going to just glue it down. And with this first one, because the whole thing is being glued down, I'm not going to go all the way up to the edges. I'm going to leave room for that envelope to open up easy so that we can actually use it. All right, the first one is down. Now I'm going to go in with the second one. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue just on the top here, because I know that that's definitely going to be glued down, maybe a little bit here because of that, you know, large envelope lip. And finally the third one. All right, that's all glued down in place. And now, just as before, I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm going to go back and see this, add glue on there just to make sure that's really fully glued down. Or I might even, I don't know, maybe add another envelope there. What do we think? Yes, I might as well. So again, with this one, we're going to leave the margins. I get all of these pretty envelopes from secondhand shops and stuff. You know, when you see those letter sets, look at this box, beautiful. I paid $4 for this one, and it comes with these beautiful envelopes. And then, oh, look at this. I mean, you can find all this sort of stuff, and a lot of it too, at thrift stores and stuff like that. All right, so the stacked envelope portion is done. That's looking nice. And let's see what we have. Of course, that's going to be filled up with pockets and stuff. We can even do something here. Maybe, I don't know, is this going to be too much? Perhaps it might get too thick. I don't know. But I really feel like I want to do something here as well. That's the thing. Once you start, it's hard to stop. I'm going to make a pocket from this offcut that I have, and then I think I'm going to cover this as well with something. So I'll do it all off camera and I'll be right back. Something that would go really nice here are these borders, you know, from the 6x6 paper pads, and then you get these things. The only thing is I don't have matching, and I really want matching ones, so I'll have to think of something else. It has to be something flat, so a bit of lace would work. I'll just do this. Okay, I spent way too much time contemplating what to put here. So anyway, that's what I did. And then once you fill up the pocket, it breaks up the straight lines. I'm going to leave the envelopes empty for now, just so we're not taking up too much time, because this project is not yet finished. But of course, the idea is to fill up all of the envelopes with stuff, right? And then we have the pockets here. So now the next thing I'm going to do, I think you know where this is going. I mean, we can leave it like this, and if I was to leave it like this, in that case I would have sewn that shut. I could still do it, but I want to make this into a journal, so I'm going to get some pages ready, and now I'm going to pop them into a signature. Add a bit of color in there. I don't want to make it too thick because we are going to be filling up the pocket and the envelopes. So I just have a few pages, and now I'm going to trim them down to size, or maybe I will fold some pages in, keep them nice and long so that we have fold out pages. Those can be sewn into pockets, but we have plenty of pockets, so I'm just going to leave them as flip out pages. All right, that fits perfectly. And then just for visual interest when the thing is opened, actually I'm going to add a doily and sew in here. Yep, that looks pretty nice. Okay, now I'm going to bind this. Needle and thread ready. Now this is completely, I mean, this video was supposed to be stacked envelopes, you know, and projects, I suppose. I mean, I didn't plan this. Totally unplanned is what I'm trying to say. But I'm quite happy with where this is going. All right, pop that in there, poke 3 holes, middle, 1 down the bottom and up the top, and binding time. In through the middle, actually out through the middle, because now we're on the outside, we're going back to the inside. And now that we're back on the inside, we're going back outside. And here we are. And now tighten and back in. Tighten some more and tie a knot and a bow. All right, binding is done, and now all that's left to do is the front cover. I have these large pieces. I'm not sure if any of these is going to go. These are all from scrapbook paper. That looks quite nice. I'm gonna go with that. Do we need anything else? Perhaps a book plate? Maybe it can be something simple. Maybe I can cut one of these. This is a stamp, alphabet stamped, and I just stamped, you know, the word. So, I don't know. What do we think? What else do we have? Oh, I did this in a tutorial using wrapping paper. Nope. What do we have? Journal stamps. I have this little pouch here with things that can go on a cover. That's quite cute. Maybe something like that. Maybe something like that. I am liking that very much indeed. But do I like this better maybe? Notes. Now my brain has completely stopped working because this musical, they're called notes, aren't they? Musical notes. I don't know. Are they? Notes? I think they are musical notes. Here comes the overthinking again. I'm gonna do this because once I put a closure on it, it all falls into place. When it's just this, it looks kind of empty. Anyway, so I'm thinking, what do we think? Maybe this one or maybe this one, tea dyed. I'm not sure. Maybe I can do both. All right, let's see. All right, it's an unplanned closure, so it's a removable closure, but I like the closures to kind of be part of the journal, so not completely removable. So I'm thinking maybe I can do some threading through the binding. Let's see if I just pop it through there, and then the other one can go through this part of the binding. What can I do here? Maybe I can like twist or something, tie a knot. That's not too bad, not too shabby. I'm happy with it. That's all that matters. All right, so actually one last thing. Okay, so we have a closure that's non-removable. Well, you can easily remove it. We have the stacked envelopes, which is what this video is all about. Kind of went, you know, in all sorts of different directions. And now one last thing, I just want to fill the pockets. I'll come back to the envelopes later. Maybe I can use these large pieces that I have. It's beautiful. And then for the back, pop that one in. That looks really nice. Oh, I like that one better perhaps than this one, but this one gives it a bit more color. Actually, I'm going to swap them around. And there we go. I'm going to call this one done for now. I still need to come back, fill up the envelopes. I'm sure you don't need to see me do the envelopes because I'm just going to fill it up with all different stuff. Maybe if I twist this around. No, I don't like that. Imagine all the fun things that you can make with stacked envelopes. So we'll just focus on the envelopes. Look at this, how cool. On the very first page, on the actual cover, actually it's on the cover of the journal, and then again at the back here we have more of the same thing. They don't have to be the same. I really didn't have to worry about them being symmetrical because obviously you can't see them when there's a signature in between them, but I didn't know what I was doing when I started this project. So in any case, that's the journal done. Then we have just the stacked envelopes on their own. I'll just quickly show you what I've done previously. Just a little thing here, you know, filled it up with all sorts of different fun papers and goodies and, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, and this can also be glued onto the back cover or just slipped into a journal. This one here, as I said, I used my envelope maker, and all of the pockets are, again, they have something, and you see they're all kind of opening up, you know, going this way and that way you can see the whole, you know, you can see all of the envelopes. Everything is beautifully visible, and I love that look. And then of course you've seen this one because we've just done it together, and I still have to go back to this one and fill it up. Oh, that's fun. Oh, this surprised me now because I completely forgot that we added all this stuff. I love the versatility of this project. And then of course we have this folio that opens up this way, and there's a pocket there. You can have stacked envelopes there, and then of course the stacked envelope goodness up here. Oh, love that. And then of course this folio which opens up this way, and then the envelope goodness over here. Look at that. That's that alphabet stamp again that I was talking about, and all the fun stuff. I think, I'm not sure, now that I've made the journal is my favorite, but prior to making the journal, this one was my favorite. So you can see the versatility of a simple idea, which is just stacking envelopes together, and then look at all the fun places that it can take you. I mean, oh, You know, then I always say the same thing. The possibilities are endless. I really hope you enjoyed this video, got lots of inspiration. I'd love to see the things that you make with your stacked envelopes. If you would please kindly share with me in my Facebook group, linked down below. Also on Instagram, you can tag me and I'll be able to see your projects. That'll be quite fun. All right, I hope you feel inspired to create. That's what this is all about. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.